All right. We're good.
Hi.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna cut that part out.
Why?
Maybe I shouldn't talk with two headphones. It kind of messes me up. All right. Go.
Well, it's Sunday afternoon and it's a really nice day because the sun is shining and we're sitting in the garden.
We haven't recorded last week.
Well,
We did record 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and it got messed up by the neighbor's party.
They had a party for 3 days. They
Yeah.
started Friday afternoonish,
Yeah.
and they went until Sunday afternoon.
Evening.
Was it evening already?
Yeah.
All right. It was evening. I'm
Yeah,
actually kind of impressed. They could go 3 days, basically.
I'm glad that impresses you.
I mean, they don't do it every week. That would
Well, they were going to start the next week, but
yeah, they got told off.
I think they did.
All right.
Not
doing
by me, though.
No,
Well, we weren't here.
a different neighbor.
Because we worked hard.
What did we work
Well,
last week?
you worked at my sister's.
All right. We did a little project.
Yeah, we did.
It's not that, I don't know, it's not that exciting project.
No,
It was just some
not
sanding
really.
and painting. Yeah.
But
Right.
I guess there was we should talk about the conversation that we started last night when both of us were very tired.
Right. About what?
'Cause
Oh,
it was
before this, that's another thing that we're trying out. Before we start on that, I don't know what it is. That this is only audio.
Yes.
We're doing that differently. And
yeah.
I realized, that's the thing that I wanted to mention. I realized that all of the recordings just before this, like, I don't know, we did like 3 or 4.
Hmm.
We did have microphones, but I realized I was using the wrong cable. So we weren't actually using the microphone.
So what happened?
Well, we had the microphone attached to the phone,
Hmm.
and it was the phone that was catching the audio, the phone's microphone, not the microphone. So I think it would have sounded a lot better with the microphones, but
Okay.
whatever. Right?
So now we haven't got any vision,
No, we don't have video right now.
but we should have better sound.
Better audio, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, last night, well,
Yeah, you because you were saying about you were wondering why is it that we seem to we can't just sit down and just enjoy what we've done. We're just constantly like, oh, that's a good idea, let's do this.
Right.
And we're just like, it's like a never ending story. And it's an interesting question to ask because we have been constantly, we're not standing still. Maybe we should sometimes, but in my opinion, the reason that this is happening is that we're probably both like this, that we're just we're seeing things, we're reading things, and it gives us an idea and we're trying to do it, and then that then follows, then another idea follows out of that, and the fact that both of us have this, I think it just means that we're just both like we're catching up from each other, because neither of us is leaving the other person alone.
right.
Even if maybe the other person at that point might not really, might want to break, we're not giving each other the break.
But I think it's not like a conscious thing. It's not.
No, it's not.
I do feel, now that I think back, maybe I had the moments like, all right, this week I'm gonna take it, slow. I don't want to do anything, or this weekend or whatever. And then you have an idea, and I think Damn it, that's
Yeah.
actually good. I guess I'm not gonna have a free weekend. That's actually not a bad idea. Let's do it.
And that's the same for me. Like, I sometimes think, you know what, today I don't want to do anything. And then we go,
Right.
let's do this. And it's like, oh, God. And we're just like doing this all the time to each other. Like today. Yeah. I actually said, I don't want to do anything. I just want to chill.
Right.
And so, let's make the kombucha.
Right. We made kombucha.
So we made kombucha.
Yeah. I think it turned out fine. Just now we're drinking. I think I went a bit overboard.
Why?
I'm drinking a coffee right now.
Yeah.
I have the kombucha
Yeah.
mixed with, which one is this? What do you think?
I think that's
I think
maybe mango,
the
apple.
combinations that we made, I think they're kind of cool. They're good.
Well, we made an.
I think this is mango and apple.
Yeah.
No, I think this is orange and apple.
Let me have a smell. Yeah, this is orange and
Yeah.
apple. We did
think-
an orange and apple one. We did an apple and mango one. We did one just apple.
Because we were running out of fruit.
Yeah, well, I don't want to waste all our fruit on
I drink.
drinkies.
Right.
Yeah. And then, did we do another one?
Mm-mm.
No.
That's it. And we still had some kombucha.
Left.
That's
Yeah.
what do you call it? That's not the kombucha, is it? The combination
Yeah.
is the kombucha, or is
Yeah.
the mushroom the kombucha?
No, the mushroom is called a SCOBY.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
the
the drink
kombucha
is
a drink.
Kombucha, right.
But before, we've kind of mixed the drink. Like, we mixed the fruit.
We juiced.
No, we mixed the fruit.
All right. Not today. You mean before today?
Yeah, before.
Right.
Which meant that we had a very thick drink.
Right. With all the pulp in it and everything.
Yeah. But now we've juiced the
We
fruit.
done this before.
We have done it before, yeah.
I don't
The
know why
thing
we.
is, because it's a hassle, that whole machine.
With the juicing. Oh.
Yeah, it's
That's
got
why we
all
never
those
did it?
components and
Yeah. You have to clean it afterwards. I
Yeah.
think the cleaning part
we
is
don't
the.
like cleaning, do we? So, but why don't you explain how to make a kombucha?
The kombucha.
What it is?
Well, it's a slightly fermented drink
Mm.
made out of black tea, basically, I guess. No?
Well, it can be green tea as
or
well.
green tea or black tea. All right. So you make the tea. You put some sugar in it.
Quite a lot of sugar.
A
right?
lot.
Well, it's 150 grams for like my
3
5 tea
liters?
bags, and
Um,
we end up with 3 liters.
Right. And then we pour that sugary tea, over this,
When it's cooled down.
when it's cooled down, over this mushroom thingy that floats.
SCOBY, yeah.
And the mushroom looks disgusting.
I
It's
actually now
this-
think it looks kind of cute.
Yeah? I don't know. It's
yeah.
just like a gooey, slimy thing.
Well, it looks a little bit like what you call them, the jellyfish that you find
Right.
at the seaside.
Yeah, just thicker.
Yeah.
It's like a plate of jellyfish.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that thing,
Sometimes it has tentacles as well.
right,
I
because it's growing.
Yeah.
So this thing floats in your tea for depends how much you want it to leave. Like
Oh, we kind
3
of do it
days,
for
a week.
3 days to 5
I
days.
think this one was
5.
I think more than 3.
Yeah, it was more than 3.
I think I made it Monday or
Yeah, so-
Tuesday,
Yeah.
and today's Sunday.
Yeah.
So let's say 5 days.
Yeah. I prefer it when it's 3 days.
Right, it's not that fizzy because it starts fermenting slowly. But what happens is that this mushroom eats basically all the nutrient stuff, right? The nutrients and
Well, the
From the
mushroom
tea?
feeds from the sugar.
but also from the tea.
Yeah, but it's the sugar that it needs. So the sugar disappears out of your
Right. So it only eats the sugar, not
Well, I'm guessing it will also take some of the tea, because
because
otherwise
otherwise you could
give
just
it
put
tea,
water.
yeah, water, sugar water.
Right.
But it needs the sugar
Right.
to, yeah.
And it keeps
And
growing, and
yeah,
this
and it
it somehow
becomes
transforms the liquid.
yeah,
It processes
to
it.
something a tiny bit fizzy.
Yeah.
And
The taste, just the taste of the drink after it comes out without the fruit. How would you describe that? It's not bad, but
well, my friend really likes it.
just like that, just
Yeah,
plain.
yeah. And I know her children drink it like that as well. And I know
Mm.
Lucas sometimes does it as well. Yeah, it's got that typical fermented taste to it. It's a bit difficult to explain.
Yeah,
It's not sugary.
but it is. It is a bit sweet. I'm guessing the mushroom doesn't eat the whole, all the sugar in it. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's not a bad taste.
No. I mean,
It's not like
I
it's
needed a bit
bitter
of
or
time to
something.
get used to it. And apparently you have to be a bit careful. If you start drinking it, you can't
Right.
just like go for it and just drink loads. Because it's not,
Ah,
yeah, it's really good for you, but
The
your
kombucha.
body needs to get used to it.
with fruit or without fruit, you mean?
Yeah.
Just
yeah,
the
yeah,
drink.
Just the drink.
Because we started because the idea. I knew about kombucha from years ago. I think my mom had it like, I don't know, 10 years ago. Had a kombucha thing, and she drank it then, and I tried it. I think then, but and I knew that it was good because it has a lot of probiotics because it's
Yeah.
a slightly fermented drink,
Mm-hmm.
and because you were saying that you don't eat pickles or yogurt, right? Or
Yeah, I don't. Anything with probiotics doesn't seem to
right.
be in
So
to my liking.
so I remember that this thing exists,
Yeah.
and you can actually buy it in the shop. Like you
Yeah.
can bottled kombucha,
Yeah.
like I don't know, industrial made, not industrial
Well,
made, but
just
yeah,
you
well,
buy it in
factory.
the shop. And
Yeah.
I tried a few, and some were quite disgusting. And then
I think they're good.
I had like one that I kind of liked, but one of my friends, because I was drinking it on Fridays when I do the upholstery course,
Right.
Because where I used to go and buy my lunch, they also had the kombuchas. And I remember one of my friends there was just laughing at me because he was like, "Why would you do this to
Yeah.
yourself, to drink something that you find disgusting?" And
You had a
I was
face
just
after
like,
every sip.
yeah,
It was like,
every sip that I was doing was like, "Ugh," yeah, and I kept drinking it, and I was like, because I have to, because Zolly told me to, because it's good for me.
It is,
But I kept having this horrible face every time I would drink it. But one of the girls there, she was making her own, and I had a try of hers one day, and it was actually not that bad. It wasn't as harsh as the one in the shop.
I was about to say that I find the one in the shop a lot milder.
I don't know. Maybe it's just something that for me is, I don't know why.
It's a different taste. I
Yeah.
found that more user friendly. I think if somebody now I wanted to say if somebody wants to try kombucha, they should just buy a bottle because I think that's a lot friendlier
Yeah.
to someone. But then
maybe
you say,
by the time we made it, I was more used to it. That's
Yeah,
also
maybe.
possible. We don't know. But anyway, she gave me a baby.
right,
It's my kombucha baby.
the mushroom.
Yeah.
Hmm.
My mushroom baby, and
Okay,
we
let's
started.
stop calling it a baby.
Ours is a black tea baby.
Right.
So we feed it black tea.
Right, because once you start feeding it one thing, you have to keep.
Well, apparently so. I'm not an expert,
Mm.
but I just followed my instructions, and that's how we kind of started the whole kombucha thing.
We also have one more mushroom in the fridge. Is that still alive? Poor thing.
I don't know.
You kind of put it into hibernation because you can
I
do
did,
that.
yeah. You can put it in the fridge, and then it just kind of slows down the
Yeah.
process. It's been in there for a while. I mean, I suppose we could try it out to see what it does, but I have to say it can go quite fast because the one that I used for this week was
Mhm.
actually, quite small,
hmm
and I'm really amazed how much it's grown in just this 1 week. So it's clearly happy.
But what do you do if it grows too big?
Well, you can actually kind of, because it's like layers sometimes, and you can take some of it to then give away to someone.
Yeah.
If you like add like, because we always start when we start a new kombucha, we take 250 milliliter of the kombucha that we have with the mushroom, and then add new tea and sugar water in there.
So you keep a little bit from the
you
previous
like
batch.
250 milliliters, and then so this is how I started, and really we can, each time your baby has grown too much, you can kind of make it.
Not call it a baby.
Well, it's a baby, you know, look after it, and then you just give it to someone who's interested. Yeah. So we've been doing that, but I have to say, in the last few, maybe since the lockdown, so that's like last 2 months, I've been more interested in like making elderflower, lemonade.
I tried it.
Yeah.
And that did not turn out okay. It was disgusting. I have to dump it.
See, but the thing is, maybe we've got a bad aura at the moment, because I didn't like the last batch I made either, and because I made because I love elderflower, and because obviously it's a very short time limit that you have to make it
in the year,
because it's
well, now I'm looking at the flowers and they're
you
gone. Cannot make it anymore.
No. So you don't have much time. So the only thing you can do is make a syrup, and then you can keep it for months.
Did you end up making another syrup? No.
No, I didn't.
Right.
I made one batch of syrup, but I guess that I was a bit demotivated by it, because when I tasted it, it was just way too sweet. I have a real issue with just these drinks that are just so sweet, and I remember last year having some syrup, and I had the same issue then. There's so much sugar in it, and where with the kombucha, the sugar kind of gets eaten away. You don't have that with the syrup, and I get it. It's a syrup, so it's gonna have a lot of sugar in. But I think it's like per liter, you put like 1,250 grams of
sugar.
1,250 grams of sugar. That's a lot of sugar.
But that's the thing with recipes online. They just, people just put them out, and it's, I guess, some is for their taste.
I know, but I never just take one recipe. I go and look at several ones, and they all talk about that much sugar, and a lot of people use this recipe.
Well, to be fair, that's what I did, and it turned out not okay.
But it's different, because with me, I didn't leave it that long.
Right.
You left it for a few days. I left mine for 24 hours, and I think, and I put a lot of flowers in it as well. So I don't know what went wrong, but it was so disappointing. And then I kind of, maybe that's one of my biggest problems that I have. I kind of then feel demotivated.
Right.
And in the last few weeks, and maybe that's why we didn't record last week, my motivation is kind of like curving down a bit. Because, obviously we have the garden as well, and I'm still doing stuff in the garden, but not everything works out, and I don't like failure. You don't like failure.
No.
In fact, I think you react even worse on it than I do. But it's difficult to just accept that things aren't always going to go the way you want them to go, and to just keep the motivation up. And maybe that's why it's not so bad that we are feeding off each other, because it's stopping us from falling into a dip.
But with the garden, that's a difficult one, because you're working with living things.
Yeah, but
so there's
the
so
baby
many
is
variables.
a living thing.
The kombucha?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, with the recipe, you made the syrup.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, that's not a living thing.
I
But
I
I
can get
still
the
put
failure there.
effort
Ah, well,
into
it
it.
didn't work. But with
Because,
this,
yeah.
it's
And maybe I
plants.
should look at it differently because you still put effort into making the syrup because it's all about. And you didn't experience this because you didn't do it, but because I picked the flowers. It's a whole
Right.
process of like you get up early in the morning because the best time to pick your flowers is early in the morning on
Mm.
a sunny day when it's not been raining, because then you have all the pollen on the flowers, and the pollen is part of the reason why you get the flavor of the elderflower. So I think we're gonna get eaten by
Yeah,
ants
ants
here.
are crawling everywhere.
But anyway, so it's a whole process of getting up in the morning early, coming out into the garden. Everything's really quiet apart from the birds, so it's nice. Everything's calm, and you start picking your elderflowers, and it's a really nice process. And then you start, making your syrup. But when it then doesn't work out the way you want it to work out, it's really quite upsetting because that doesn't belong in the process. It's like an emotional thing, making syrup.
Right.
I know you think about it differently because for you it's
No,
just
I get it.
yeah,
I mean, I don't know what to compare it with. I tried making that sourdough bread, and
yeah,
that turned out like crap. And I had to. That's like a long process. I had to, because I wanted to bake it in the morning. I had to get up at like, what was it, like 4 a.m.
yeah,
Mix the thing,
mm,
put it aside to, you know,
rise,
to rise. And then I came back after a few hours, and it was all just a mush,
gooey.
nothing. Yeah, and I just got upset and went back to bed.
Yeah, I think we need to learn to accept that by trying out new things, we're
Yeah,
also going to fail sometimes.
yeah,
And that's something that's going to be such a big lesson for us to learn because neither of us like it.
right.
And we get moody when it doesn't.
I was thinking about this or something similar to this, because now I'm really into bread. Like
Yeah.
I'm making all the time, and you think that's why I'm so into this, because it's actually working. Like I'm having yeah, I'm having success with it. Like the breads are turning out actually nice, and
Well, let's say it this way because let's
I
remember
wanted to see
one of the first breads that you made, right?
what?
Something went wrong with the first bread because I started making the bread, didn't
Yeah.
I? Because I've done it before.
Yeah.
And then you made one because I was working,
Right.
and something went wrong with it. I can't remember what, but you were so moody. I mean, I laughed at it.
Oh, I think
we
because
spoke about this before.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It got stuck in the
Yeah.
thing.
And I was laughing, and you were really moody because of it. And I think if that would have happened to you twice in a row, I don't think you would have gotten into it because you just really can't hack it. I
Right.
think, yeah. So you have, luckily, the second bread you made, it worked out fine, and the second bread you made, it worked out fine, and you have kind of started to read up on it more to the extent that now my Facebook and whatever I click on, like if I want to watch something on YouTube, I just get all these videos about baking bread. I get adverts for it. That and the First World War.
Right.
It's just unbelievable. But anyway, so I think you know that you're getting better at it, and you not risking, but you are trying out more and more stuff, and most of it is a success. and that's why you're getting into it, because you can see you're getting better.
Right, it's an instant
Results.
feedback.
Yeah, and you have a grateful public, because I like bread, Luca likes bread.
Yeah, that's another thing, that whatever the result of this thing is something that you can actually eat, and it's nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice bread. Like, everybody likes bread.
Yeah, and let's face it, like, making something for Luca and for her to like it,
Right.
there isn't much. She's not easy.
She's a bit of a picky eater.
Yeah, but she's loving the bread.
Right.
So I think that's kind of a motivation, that she's liking it, I'm liking it, you're liking it. So you want to try more and more and more. And, like, we've given some to my sister and my parents, and they're liking it. And,
And today I want to try out. Today, and, well, I think I'm going to have to bake it tomorrow morning, sourdough again.
Yeah.
Because I made the starter, which is a whole process. It took like a week.
Yeah.
It's kind of, there's a slight similarity to the kombucha.
Yeah.
You keep feeding this, it's the yeast, it's wild yeast in the flour and in the air, and you keep feeding it every day for like a week, and you make this gooey paste that starts bubbling because of the yeast.
Yeah.
And I did that for a week, and I tried it out, and that's when it turned out like crap. It was unusable. But then now I put it in the fridge, so you can it'll survive. It'll just slow down, and you can feed it once a week. So that's what I did last week. So now today I have to take it out, feed it again to wake it up. Take out some that I will use for the bread, and then the rest feed it again and put it back in the fridge for next week. So I was reading that the first few breads are not going to be good because the yeast is there, but it's not, I don't know, not enough concentration, or they say it's not mature enough. I mean, whatever that means.
Well, it's like my baby.
Okay.
That grows as well.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah. So the first few breads are, even if the mix turns out okay, which my first one didn't. When I say mix, the dough, the bread dough, even if that turns out okay, in the oven it's not gonna rise, or it's gonna be all gooey and whatever. So I'm going in with no expectations for this bread.
Yeah. Okay.
And we'll see tomorrow morning, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I was just curious what you think. Why is... Because I try out new stuff all the time. And, let's say with woodworking, I got into it, and I did a few things, and I bought some tools, and it's fun. I like it. And I kind of put it aside. But with bread, this kind of hit the spot somehow. And it's just, all right, this is for me. And it's just, go.
Yeah, because I like baking bread, but I just don't get the chance anymore. But I think it's because, it's just a very therapeutic thing to do anyway.
You think it also has to do something with, because it's a bit more nerdy and sciencey? Because you have to measure stuff,
that was my
everything.
next thing. I think it's a very pleasant thing anyway to do. But I think what you're liking is, like you say, the science, because... See, I bake it, and it's just in, like, how I feel it should be done.
Right.
And you're kind of like, you've hassled me again with these conversations about the chemistry and what happens. And I can just see the sparkle in your eyes when you're talking about it. And I'm kind of, all I'm thinking is just please stop, because I'm not interested.
I had to order, I bought... an oven thermometer, which just to get the right temperature in the oven.
Yeah, see, this is where you go nerdy, and also, oh my god!
I also ordered another thermometer.
You've ordered another one.
Yeah, to measure the temperature of the water that you're mixing the yeast with, and to measure the dough temperature, because it needs to rise. I think
this is a
21
disease.
degrees Celsius.
It's a disease.
What were you about to say?
Well, that one, because you started working again.
Yeah.
And in the first week that you started working again, you know, we needed bread, and so I had to make it. And you actually made me call you at work, so and actually put the video on to show not video,
Yeah, I
the
video
video.
called you.
Yeah, you video called me, and you showed me with your hands how I had to handle the
Yeah,
dough.
how you shape the dough.
And I was like, oh my god! I mean, I wish I could have taped it because it was just so funny. It was just so funny. I just could not believe that you called me to explain to me how to handle the dough. But
This Friday,
yeah,
I went to work afternoon, finished at 8. I came
Yeah.
home,
yeah,
and on Saturday morning I had to come to your sister to, work on that, sanding and garden thingy. But before I started baking,
Yeah.
so I came home and I started baking. I made 2 breads, and what would you call the other things?
They're like, well, soft, sweet. Well, no, they're just soft bread buns with Belgian chocolate inside.
Right.
Yeah,
So I had to bake all these.
yeah,
Well, I didn't have to, but I wanted to.
yeah,
And I ended up finishing at 4 a.m.
yeah.
And then I went to sleep for like 3 hours,
Yeah.
3 hours. And I drove to your sister's.
Yeah. And it was nice.
They did turn out good.
They did.
I did a normal bread,
The
white
normal
bread.
bread was amazing. To me, for some reason, when it comes to flavor, but also the texture,
And
it's one of the nicest breads I've had.
You
that
said
you've
that.
Made.
And it's frustrating because I don't know what I did it different. Because I did it exactly the same. Well, I'm thinking exactly the same how I did it before. But obviously I did something different. And I don't know why. Because then, all right, well, let's do it like this from now on. But I don't know what I did.
But I think, I mean, I might be completely off the track here, but I'm sure I've told you this before, but when you work with clay and when clay gets
Right.
baked, then how your piece is gonna work out is depending on what it's getting baked with, the weather outside,
Yep.
there's so many variables that have an impact on how your clay is being baked. So again,
Yeah, maybe
like
just
you're saying,
who knows?
it is a living thing because there's yeast in it.
Yeah.
The yeast can be reacting on, sometimes we let the rise happen outside in the sun. Sometimes we let it happen inside.
Oh, true. This one I made it. I let it rise upstairs because
There
it's
you
warmer.
go.
So maybe
There
I
you
should try
go.
that again.
So it's just,
Yeah.
We
We did mention this last time. Well, not last time, but before.
Yeah.
Because I know that I saw videos that like professional bakers, and they were saying that, this guy was a baker, and as a hobby he was surfing, and he
Right.
was comparing surfing with baking
Oh my god.
because both of them are dependent on weather.
Okay. So when he can't surf, he makes bread.
No, he makes bread anyway,
Yeah.
but he was just making a comparison how both these things,
Yeah.
because it's, I don't know, atmospheric pressure and wind and whatever,
Yeah.
humidity. Yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah, well, so you are turning into a bread making nerd now.
You know what I do regret?
What?
When I was in Italy, when I was doing
Yeah.
workaway, I was 1 month in Italy, living with a professional chef
Yeah.
that
Making his own bread.
he was making his amazing bread,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't interested in bread back then. And now, I wish I had the interest back then. Because he made
funny,
bread.
isn't it? Because, I mean, we started baking bread because of the crisis, and when we had the time, I'd done it before, and I kind of liked it, and I preferred that kind of bread anyway. And and it just meant that I didn't have to get to the bakery all the time.
Yeah.
But why? I think it was your idea.
What, to bake bread?
Yeah.
I don't know how it started. I know that.
Sometimes we're just not
Yeah,
ready
I
for
don't know.
things, and at that point, that wasn't a
Yeah.
part of your interest.
Well,
and
now it's easy to say now. Oh, I should have done this. But
Yeah.
yeah, obviously then, yeah, I did. I mean, he did make bread once, and I helped, let's say, but I didn't actually help. It was more like, I don't know. Well, we need to mix these things together. And I said, all right. And I remember one thought that there's a plane. Hold on. I remember that when he had like a professional big mixer, and he put all the flour in and all the yeast in. And I remember him
Did
measure
he use fresh yeast? Because
the
yeah.
normal yeast that I'm using.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing sourdough.
Yeah, but I wanted to know whether he used dry yeast
No.
or fresh.
Fresh yeast.
Yeah.
And I remember him measuring the temperature of the water that he put in the mix.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, okay, calm down. Just it's water. You know, it's just put in some lukewarm water. It's fine. And
And now
last
you've
week I ordered the temperature. I ordered the thermometer to measure the temperature of the water.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but he was cool. He had this quite big table, and he did. I don't know how he did it because he froze. Somehow he put either dough. I think it was the dough. He put it in the freezer, and then in the morning he would just take out a frozen bread, already shaped and everything. But I don't think it was baked at all, and he would just pop it in the oven, and it was fresh bread. So it was all, he was preparing everything. He was doing the shaping, the proofing, the rising, everything, and then just everything. He had like a big freezer. But yeah, so I know at some point I just walked out because it takes forever to make. I don't know. He made like 40, 50 breads, a lot,
Yeah.
30 breads. I don't know, for a month. So yeah, it was at that point it was boring. So I just all right, I'll go do something else. But now I regret.
And now, yeah.
I wish that I was
Be-
interested back then.
It's a good thing though to develop and to get better and better at it, because when we do set up the project in Romania, then we can also start, on the quiet times when the tourist season isn't kind of quite happening, we could like get children involved, schools involved, to come in and to learn to bake their own breads and stuff. I remember doing it when I was 6 with school. We
Right.
went to a kids farm, and we all got to make our own little breads, and it was just so exciting to do, and it was just so much fun. So to still have that memory now just means it really impacted on me. As I really had a nice time. So it would be cool to also do that with children from the city that come in a
Right.
nice environment, and to make their own little breads to take home with them.
That's the thing that there's two things about this. One, that, well, it's not that I haven't tried before in my life. I did try baking bread. They turned out not that good. But a lot of people, well, most people don't bake their breads. Well, it's not necessary, first of all, right? But then I think people like I was, like 2 months ago, I wasn't interested in, baking bread, but it's so easy.
Yeah, it is, and it's also so amazing.
Yeah, I think it's even an okay bread made at home is better than a bought
Yeah,
bread
I
in
mean,
the shop.
You bought a bread.
Yeah, this week. I wasn't impressed.
No, neither was I.
That sounds a bit snobby. Because, I bake my own bread now. But I never baked it before. But whatever, that's just one thought. But the other thing is with teaching, I was thinking about that because I was thinking, you know what, maybe I should make like a small video. Oh, that would be interesting. Post it about baking bread and
Yeah.
showing people how, whoever is interested in how to bake a bread. But the difficulty there, I was thinking, who am I to show other people? Like how, because I'm not, obviously I'm not, a professional and
Yeah.
but I was thinking, but not just related to bread, to anything. What gives me the authority to like show people how to do this? Or I don't know. I had a bit of a.
But if as a person you come across this, I mean, imagine a person who isn't used to baking at all, and they come across your video, and then they come across a professional baker video.
Right.
I think that someone is going to feel less.
Have we talked about this before?
I don't know.
I feel alright. Whatever. Sorry.
I think people are going to feel less inclined to follow to start baking a bread when they watch the professional
Right.
making the video than when they watch you, because you're, like you say, you're not a professional baker.
Right.
You had no experience, and you can do it, and you make some pretty amazing bread. So that's what gives you the authority. The fact that you are just another person,
Right.
who has decided that actually I want to make my own bread and I want to try and make it as best as I possibly can. And look, it's not that hard. Who do you think that people are going to believe more if they say it's not that hard? The professional one or you? Of course it's not hard for a professional baker.
That's true.
He's a professional baker. But if you say it, a nerd, like, oh, it's not that hard and it's actually fun, who are they going to believe? They're going to believe you because, you might not make the better bread,
For sure.
but you make a pretty amazing
decent
bread.
Yeah. I haven't thought about it like that. I
That's
guess.
what gives you the authority. I've kind of stepped away. There's a line to it. I mean, you have to be decent, and I think you can definitely call yourself decent.
You have to have like a result. You can't just.
Yeah. But
And this is not just about baking bread.
yeah, I'm not talking about just the bread
Yeah.
anymore. You have to have a certain level of skill when you want to share something. But I don't see that you have to be completely a complete professional, or you have to know everything for you to be able to share knowledge, because sometimes also the process of finding things out is also something
Educational.
People learn from your mistakes as well. And sometimes it's about things that people that are really good at something and that are professionals, they're not going to think about those mistakes anymore. They're not going to share that kind of information because it's just normal. And of course you don't do it like that, because that's not going to work. So they don't say it. Well, you're going to go, well, actually I tried to make the sourdough and obviously something went wrong.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I guess if you do make like let's say not an instructional video, but a video of making, let me show you how to make bread, or that's the thing, it has to be not let me show you how to make bread, let me show you how I make bread.
Yeah.
If you make something, or you you try to teach somebody, you're not trying to teach the way, you're trying to teach your way.
Yeah. And it's not even about teaching, it's about just sharing information.
Yeah, well, teaching is maybe not the right word.
Yeah.
Showing people. Because if you're saying, and it's not a bad idea of, in the future in Romania, the project, if we end up, making whatever workshop, it doesn't need to be, whatever. But if you tried it out a bit, you can still show people how it's done.
Yeah.
Just like, I mean, I guess the most you can do is just like an introduction to whatever it is.
Well, you can get them to make a little bread.
Well, yeah, bread. But let's say you now have plenty of experience with felting to do a
Mhm.
workshop. But let's say with bread or woodworking or I don't know, or gardening, we have a tiny bit of experience. So
Mhm.
the most we could do is like an introduction.
Oh yeah,
That's what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Mm.
But sometimes it's about planting that little seed, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
especially like what I was saying about doing it with the children.
Right.
It's such a lovely experience to give to kids
Well, you can also
to like, okay, let's bake bread. You know, let's see what happens with this flour and this yeast and what's let's watch it grow. And I think it's
yeah.
a really exciting process, and then putting their bread into the oven, and then they can go home with the bread. You know, that's just so cool.
Mm.
And you don't have to be.
Well, kids don't know better. Yeah. I would be.
It's not even. It's not about kids don't know better. It's
They
about.
make a crappy bread and they're all excited.
It's about giving them an experience. And that's with a few things like that. It's about planting little seeds to get them to, because
it's also more about
these
the experience.
days are just so busy with all that kind of nerdy stuff.
Wow.
Like playing games and stuff like that. And it's so nice to. I think it's really valuable to get kids to just get back a flavor of some very simple living skills. Not even skills. I think that's the wrong word. But just like bring things back to basic and make life a little bit simpler.
I think we're gonna have to try it out. Like give a few of these workshop classes, whatever they are, with kids, but with also adults, because I think now that you're explaining it, now that you're saying it, I'm thinking, you know what? I think when I say adults, I don't know, like my age, or what? Excuse you. I would be more interested in making a bread or making, I don't know, whatever it is. Well, we talked about last time that having a bunch of types of workshops. Because, I don't know. We would have to try out to see if kids would actually be interested in.
I think, you know what? This is because I can feel the doubt in your voice.
Yeah.
If you think back at when I started doing the felting workshops with kids, I had that doubt as well, because I couldn't imagine kids would be interested in doing the felting. They're loving it. I mean, give them a break. Of course they're going to love this. This is cool. We're not telling them that they have to become bakers. We're just giving them something different. It's new. Kids are curious.
That's true.
They want to learn new things. If you would tell them to bake bread every day, then it becomes a chore and like making their homework, and that would be different. But just the fact that, okay, let's bake some bread and we can put it in the oven. It's your own bread and you're gonna get to eat it.
Yeah.
They are loving it. I'm telling you, I was 6 years old and I still have that memory.
Right.
I don't have that many memories from that age, but that one is one that I'll never forget. So you just have to give kids some credit that they are really still into this kind of stuff. It's just not being offered to them so much anymore. And that's what needs to come back. Kids need to know how to bake bread. They don't need not because they have to make it every day, but because they need to know.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, of course I'm right.
Wow. All right.
I just think it's really important, and I do see what you're saying as well. We should do it for adults as well. Yeah, of course we do, but we also should offer it to schools and.
Yeah, that would be interesting. But I think there's about a lot more hurdles to go through.
What, for schools?
Yeah, for with kids.
Where are your hurdles?
Well, kids are not, the brightest. They can't. I mean, they can't work with.
This isn't a good advertisement.
You can. I mean, you can't give them knives, or and then
Why
you have
not?
to make. You can't let them close to the oven. And
I think you need
that's
to
what I
give
mean.
kids a bit more credit of what they can and can't do.
Yeah, I'm not really,
Because I think you'd be great. It's just that you have never tried it.
no.
Yeah.
I'm
And
not.
it's a scary thing. Cause
Yeah, I don't
didn't
feel
think
comfortable. Not like comfortable. I don't know what the right word is, with kids.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I'm not.
Although they do like you.
Yeah, for some reason, I just don't like them.
This is such bad advertising.
What do you mean?
Because you're saying, I don't like your children.
Well, it's not that I don't like kids. They're okay. I just, when
You just
people
don't
give
like
me, all right,
dealing
go play
them.
with this kid or with my sister. I don't really know how to deal with. I think that's the right word. I don't know how to deal with them.
Yeah. But you just need to be yourself.
Yeah. I don't know. I never. That's another thing. I never had to deal with kids.
No. Yeah.
So
And you know what? I think I had the same before I had children.
right.
Because I didn't know how to deal with children. And I'm not going to say I do now. But it doesn't scare me so much anymore.
Yeah. Maybe that's the thing. Because I'm just uncomfortable because I don't know what to do. Like you can't have a conversation with a kid. You just.
Well,
I mean, you
can.
can with at a certain age you can, but like small kids, like, all right, I don't know, the triangles goes here, and then Legos,
Yeah,
and
that's
I
a
don't know.
different type of conversation.
Yeah, I guess I'm just not comfortable. Maybe that's the thing. It's like I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Whatever.
I'm sure you will love talking to kids about how to make bread and the science of making bread and bore them to death.
Yeah, I'm just.
It will be fine. But I mean, it's an exciting kind of prospect to look into that kind of thing as well. I think.
Well, we were talking about, this is like far future to do things with local kids.
Yeah.
Like they have like some sorts of classes, I guess you would call them.
Workshops.
Workshops. I don't know, but like not necessarily, you know, gardening or that type of stuff.
No.
But like other skills, whatever, like computer skills we were talking about. That would be interesting.
Yeah, because like the city kids, they are the ones that need to be drawn more into that kind of nature thing of and doing things like baking and
Animals
and trees and flowers and God knows what. But when it comes to the kids from the village, they're the ones that have been grown up with that, and then it's more maybe the opportunities for them lay more in like, okay, well, let's learn something about computers, or like you were saying, programming. So it's about looking at what the need is for those groups. Really.
I think that would be cool. I think because we were talking about people that live in the village. We know a couple, and how it would be cool to like work with their experience and work with them because they know what they're doing, like keeping animals or whatever. But this would be kind of like, I don't know, giving back.
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't know. That sounds cheesy, but
no, I don't think it is sounding too cheesy. I mean, there isn't a nicer way as to make things work for both of us and to give and take. Yeah. I don't think that sounds cheesy at all, to be honest.
right.
Yeah. So we're having a bit of a quiet moment because.
Well, I kind of brought up what I wanted to bring up. The question was why am I so into bread making all of a sudden? And there was one more thing.
And why are we constantly busy?
Yeah. Why can't we just stop and be not just? We do know how to stop, but we don't like to just stop.
To be honest, I hope that one day we will be able
Right,
to stop
I don't think
once
that's
in
gonna
a
happen.
while.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
It doesn't have to be like stop forever, but just like today we sat in the hammock and you know we chilled a bit. You kept making me stand up to adapt,
Adjust.
which
But now it's good.
I just thought that's just so highly annoying. But so we have moments, but it would be nice if we had a few more.
But that's the thing that I don't think you want that, because you will have that, and let's say you get to the point where that's it. You have to worry about nothing. You can just stop, and every day you can just read a book in the hammock, no worries. And then 1 week of that, and then you'll say, maybe I should do this.
No, what I'm finding difficult right now is the fact that I'm working and I'm doing the stuff outside of work.
Right, and you want to focus on just doing the stuff outside.
And chilling a bit.
Right.
I want that
Right.
kind of. I want to be able to work hard outside because I'm finding it fun, and I would like to get back into the things that I'm really enjoying. But I also kind of need that rest, and I think that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, because I haven't been doing a lot of felting, and I haven't been doing any ceramics. And
You did say you wanted to do ceramics this
Yeah,
weekend.
but
What
then
happened?
I'm tired.
Right.
You know, I worked hard yesterday, I worked hard the day before, and today I feel exhausted.
We did work hard yesterday.
There you go. So, and I know my body is saying now, you're done.
You think you'll do some tomorrow? Will you feel like it?
Well, we're working again tomorrow.
Well, not work.
No, well, we'll see. I'm trying to forgive myself for not doing it, but I also kind of find it very frustrating.
Yeah, I can see
But
that.
I have a week off soon, and I'm
Oh, yeah.
hoping that then I'll be able to do it.
We did go.
But there is also something else that I haven't spoken to you about, and I've kind of been wanting to bring it up in one
Alright.
of these kind of settings, because. And I know, I mean, you might not even understand it. You're going to think I'm crazy again, I think. But there has been the very unfortunate event of of a person being killed in America.
Right.
A black guy
Mm.
by the police.
Mm.
And obviously we know that this happens more than it should do. And it's been really bothering me that this happens, because however we want to twist or turn it, we are very privileged in what we are getting to do. You know, we're in a very safe environment. We're both white. I don't have to worry about Luca because she's white as well. And we are never going to know what that feels like to live like that. And it bothers me because it happens, and I don't understand why it happens, because I cannot understand, you know, why people can treat other people like that for a different color. And it goes this far as like, I don't even, you know, and this is going very far, right?
Okay.
I don't even know why we even bother to try and save a planet if we can't even bother to look after each other. And because, I can't see the point. We can't even look after each other. And people, you know, now there's these protests, but actually, and you know, this happened in America, but racism happens everywhere. It happens here as well. And it seems to become more and more common. And it makes the world, as I see it, so ugly, and we just stay quiet, and that's just so wrong. And I don't know what my point is, but I guess that to me it has impacted on me this week a great deal, and I don't know what I can change, because well, I can, you know, if I would ever see something like that happening, I could stand up against it. But I think more and more people need to stand up against it, because we can't just keep a blind eye to things like this. It's just wrong. And it's impacting. It is impacting as well on what's happening here, because sometimes I'm thinking, what is the point? Because we're just like, I don't know, are we just hiding ourselves from that? Are we just
You mean
closing
you
our
and me, or
eyes? Yeah. Are we closing our eyes and just we've built this little island for ourselves in which we're doing all these nice things and fun things and we're having all these plans and we're closing our eyes for what's going on?
I don't think so.
Because the way I see it, and maybe my view has been blurred, but the world looks pretty ugly at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So I am questioning what we're doing in that aspect as well.
But just because it's not working out, you know, humanity or society is not working out in one aspect, doesn't mean everything else should fail.
It's true.
I mean,
But
it
what we're going to
sucks.
do about the fact that that happens, though? What can you do? As
Well,
in,
that's the thing. What power do you have to do anything? I mean, us or whoever. I mean, everybody that I know is, I don't know. Well, not maybe not everybody, but you know, close people are doing their best, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I don't think we are trying our best. And
but are we? What, just because we're not racist?
right.
Isn't closing your eyes just as bad?
But what? All right, you say closing your eyes, but what? What's the other side? What does not closing your eyes mean? What?
I
How
don't
do
know.
you see
Isn't it
that?
time to just like, I don't know, actively like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. No, but I don't think anybody knows what are you meant to do, and with things or things, not this specific thing, but similar things. I mean, I think
But how is it
how I
allowed that, you know, if you look at the world, if you look at it, you know, how is it allowed that it is okay to be so, you know, if you look at politicians, if you look at, you know, we can look internationally, we can look at Trump and, you know, and how he looks at Mexicans and how he now focuses on Chinese people, how he's dealt with this.
that's a bit far from us. That's the
It's
thing.
far, yeah, but you say that. But look at closer then. Look at Belgium.
Well, closer you can actually have an impact.
How?
I guess the easiest is by voting.
But I do, and I vote for. I don't vote.
This is a difficult one.
I know.
Because what are you meant to do? What can you do? That's the thing.
Yeah.
You can, I don't know, spread your point of view, and you know, without any expectation, and hope that people see how you see the world. This is a difficult one. You brought up something that has no clear answer, and you cannot answer it in, you know. Yeah, this is a difficult one. So I don't know. I think if we do what we do, and now we do this podcast and share our ideas and our points of view. I mean, that's obviously not the answer, but you know, maybe it's a step towards, you know, sharing your ideas and thoughts and perspectives with other people. But you know, you cannot expect anything.
But
I mean,
why?
maybe
Why can't we expect for people to be treated equally?
no, that's not what I mean. I mean, views of views how you view the world. You cannot expect people to change. Oh, okay. Oh, Ruth said that
No,
this
but
is how you should do it,
I
and
know
then
that this is going to sound really
right.
naive, right? I know it's going to sound extremely naive, but how can you naturally, you know, how can you, where does this kind of need come from to hate a person who looks differently than you do?
You're trying to answer something that a lot smarter people than us can't. That
Because
has
there is
people
no
that
reason.
well,
Because
no,
there is no reason.
well,
There's
no,
no
but
one that can come with an answer because there is no
well, no,
reason.
there's no reason, but there is, the reason is there is a reason in the sense of that starts from somewhere, be that, I don't know, education or whatever that is.
Mm.
But again, there's a lot smarter people that have dedicated probably their lives, and that's all they study is racism and differences. There's no like black and white answer. There's no clear yes and no. This is a rough one, and I get it. I get that it affected you. I mean, I've been watching this, and obviously, it sucks, and yeah, I don't know.
I just wish people could just be just so much more. And you know what? I mean, people from all different opinions. I mean, it's just like when you read things like reactions on articles and stuff, and on both sides, people have turned into such unforgiving, like harsh. If someone has a different opinion than you, it's almost like you have to hate that person.
Right. But then you think we're headed in the right direction, that in the sense that, like, you and me, not us, the general us. You're saying like, all right, what's the point in this when the world is burning?
Mm.
But imagine we do the project, and in a few years, are we not bringing people closer? Are we not?
So. Yeah.
Is our way not, or our ideas not heading towards something better? Or yeah, I think yeah. If there's a
maybe that's true, and I certainly hope that you are right, and and I don't think we can get the answer on that now.
No.
But I could turn it around and say, are we just kidding ourselves here? Is this because it makes us feel better, thinking that this is the right way?
Yeah.
But aren't we just closing our eyes for what's going on?
But that's what I mean. What can you do? Like, actual thing that you can do. Not like, yeah, what can you actually do? Other than, let's say, voting, which all of us do.
Because, and it's shown that actually politics doesn't work.
Yeah, well, the next thing is, starting Fight Club and burning the world down.
No, but sometimes I do start to feel very anarchistic. And
I know what you mean.
I don't like violence, and I don't want any from any side. But I do feel that we're at the brink of something that something needs to happen. This is so wrong.
You're not wrong. But I think that this feeling and this feeling, and it's a general feeling, not your feeling, this general feeling of like, this has happened throughout history. I think there's always like ups and downs. That doesn't make this one less, this feeling less valuable or less importance. But there's always times that are crappy times. But I think, yeah, I don't know. I think society and humanity and as a whole is still headed towards the right direction. I mean, life in general.
We've had this discussion before, and we have a very different view on that, because you do feel like humanity is going forward.
Yeah.
And I don't. And I don't know who's right and who's wrong.
But that's the thing. There's no answer to any of this.
But I think we both agree that what happened this week is, it's just disgusting.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting that there's human beings that think it's okay.
Yeah.
And that there's even
is there anyone that thinks that's okay?
Yeah.
Yeah? I haven't seen that.
Yeah. And because of not always okay, but that kind of, when I've seen people say about, Black Lives Matter, and then people say, well, all lives matter. And you know what? That's true. But the thing is...
Yeah, but now you're getting into, like, politics. And when it gets into politics, it's always shady.
But it's not politics.
It is.
People that think like that as well.
Yeah.
Because
I always
it's
said
not
that...
wanting to recognize that actually when you're a black person, you kind of, you could be in for a rough ride. Your chances are different. Your chances to get bad things happen to you are higher. Just because of your color of your skin.
Maybe we should have somebody that has experience in this.
Yeah, I know. I have kind of thrown this on you.
Yeah.
And I purposely didn't tell you anything that I wanted to discuss it because I knew you'd stop me.
Well, not stop you, but, if you cannot get an answer, it's a thing that you just, it's a ball that you throw up in the air and then there's no, like, catching it because there's no, like, answer. There's no solving this, it is an issue and I can see what you're saying. And, yeah, I mean... Probably everybody has, following this, but it's a rough one. It's that's why it's rough one, because it's not like, well, obviously don't hate people, because obviously don't. But how are you gonna explain that to somebody that has, a past that has, there's no reason for it, but that person has a reason for it. It may be founded on something, but that thing may be stupid, but how do you explain that? You know what I'm thinking of right now? There's no relation, but we watched this clip about hoarders.
Yeah.
How do you explain to that person that stop gathering all this junk in your house because it's not good? That's their world, and how do you explain that to somebody?
But they don't actually hurt anyone doing it.
All right, that's what I mean. It's not. It's different. It's like but there's a parallel there. There's you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think you do.
So
well, let's at least agree that.
Oh, Jesus!
When it comes to you and me, we will always actively stand up for people that are in a more vulnerable place than we are.
I mean, I hope that if that's the case, I can make a difference.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then again, this is what we're doing. I hope that this maybe makes a difference.
Well, I mean, obviously you come from a country where people have also had to survive in very difficult circumstances, right. And I know that...
How does that relate to this? What do you mean?
Well, because, Romania comes out of a dictatorship, and nasty things happened there, and it's a country that's still growing and going forward in the right way. So in that way, you could say that we are trying to make it better because we want to build a future for the people as well that will be around us.
Yeah.
And not just, this isn't just about us, it's also about
I,
the people around us.
I have thought about this because we have our little project and we kind of have an idea what we want to do, and it sounds a bit hippie that I want to help the locals and holding hands and everybody's happy, but that's actually what we want to do.
Yeah.
That's it sounds all idealistic but
And I'm sure there's people around that will think of us as being
yeah,
naive.
yeah,
But
maybe.
actually, I'd much rather now be naive than to go into that kind of really aggressive, really aggressive kind of thinking towards other groups of people or other thoughts. Yeah. I want to stand up for people that maybe can't always defend themselves, and I want to create chances for groups that might find it harder as well. And if we can do that with the project, I think that's at least a small step that we can take.
Well, there is an idea that if regarding voting, that local voting is a lot more, I don't know, valuable, but a lot more impactful because it impacts directly on the lives of people. Now, I don't want to compare what we want to do with voting or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. But we're trying to impact people, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, we got in deep with this.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I don't mind you bringing it up.
Okay, well, let's just hope that
We need to
do.
bring it back and close up.
Yeah, well, let's hope that we can bring a positive, something to people that need it as well. Yeah. And I guess we'll talk hopefully next week.
All right. That's it?
Yeah.
Close it off?
Yeah.